Right, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory as always unto
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Makakadosh. Double honors as always unto our elders and apostles of Great Millstone
Stone.
who rule well. And a sincere Shalom to Yakim that teach you this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. As always, I like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites are so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other nations because Israel as a people has been scattered amongst all nations throughout various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. And so we're going to get into it. There's a couple of topics I want to talk about today through the Spirit. I don't have anything prepared, I'm just going to flow in the Spirit. Because a couple of things have been going off in terms of prophecy and also events of people doing things when they're claiming to be in the truth and kind of using the truth as a platform to do all kinds of other madness, which is just going off. But first of all, I'd like to say that, I want to give thanks to Yahweh for allowing me and all the brothers, all the Yakim around the world to be out here another day to do this work, man, because we've been called into this thing, not by our own will, but by the Spirit of Yahweh, Yahushai, and to be able to partake in this work and continue in the labours of the great men that came before us. We're continuing on in their labours. This isn't a thing where we just came to this thing and we're like, oh, well, we're going to do it. No, what is it, John 15? Let me get that to open. John 15. Yeah, this is John 15. Let me read from John 15 verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit he purgeth it, that he may bring forth more fruit. So Lord willing, if we are indeed of the elect and we're doing the things which are pleasing unto Yahweh Yahushai, we are considered those good branches. We're the good branches that Yahweh wants on his tree. Because it said every branch that bring forth not good fruit, he purgeth, that every branch that bring forth good fruit, he nourishes it and keeps it a part of the tree. And what is that tree? The house of David, which is being risen up once again. Because you have, throughout our history, you've always had the righteous against the wicked. You have the house of David versus the house of Saul. And Lord willing, if we be of the men and we're doing this work the correct way, preaching and prophesying as we are called to do, and teaching the right way, we will be considered as good branches. And if a branch is not good, it gets lopped off and cast out. And it's not by our own will that happens, it's all for the Spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. Because as I said, this work is not of ourselves. We've been called in to do this labour, but really this is Yahweh's program, man. And if he wasn't chosen, we can't make ourselves chosen. This isn't a thing where you can wake up one day like the Christians say, oh, I woke up one day and I found Jesus and I gave my life to Jesus. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You don't get to choose if you're of the elect or not. Whether you're of the elect or not was predestined from the foundation of the earth. So this is about predestination. You can't make yourself or will yourself or you can't force the will to self to speak. So let me keep reading. And it says, verse 3, John 15:3. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and as I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, just like I said, we can't do this thing of ourselves. It's all through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai, which is all the more reason to have a humble spirit. Because the Most High looks upon the meek and the lowly. If you're coming into this thing and you're puffed up and you're trying to make yourself, trying to magnify yourself rather than magnify Yahushai, then you're coming into this thing with the wrong mindset. And you can't fool Yahweh Yahushai. This is the thing. You may be able to fool a few men here and there, but you can't supplant Yahweh Yahushai, because he sees the spirit and he knows every man's heart, and he searcheth the reins, as it says. Now, before I read any more, I want to touch upon a topic that cropped up when I was watching some videos from very edifying videos with some brothers around the world, you know, in the Americas and so on and so forth. And they were getting onto the head of the Sakari, is his name High Priest Al-Azhar. Salaki if I'm saying his name incorrectly, I think that's his name. But basically what this character is trying to do now is he's trying to plug himself. First of all, he's doing a hip hop album. I believe they call it hip hop album 223. And he's there trying to promote that. He's like, yeah, you know, and I'm going to be dropping my new hip hop album. Yeah, it's going to be called 223. It's going to be powerful. You know, all thanks to Yahweh Hashem Shai for allowing me to do this album. And yeah, we're also doing a reality TV show, and that's going to be powerful. And yeah, man. First up, we started we wanted to do a little documentary on me making my album, which you can buy on my website. Plugging that, and yeah, and we turned it. You know, it started from a few little documentary videos, and we decided to make a whole reality TV show. Yeah, plugging their album, and yeah, all thanks to Yahweh. Like, oh, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit, because that's the way the man's going on. And I get angry when I see people doing this, because you don't use this truth as some kind of springboard or a platform to magnify yourself. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. So lucky, man. I get angry because, like I was saying to the brother before we started, you don't pick up this Bible like it's just any old kind of book, like you're reading Postman Pat or the Mr. Men or something. This book is not a joke, man. There's power in this book, and Yahweh Shai had to shed his blood in order for us to get the understanding of this book, to be standing here right now doing this work. Now that's why I go back into what I said earlier on. We didn't start this thing, man. It's not like I just woke up one day and thought, oh yeah, I'm going to start camp and I'm going to start teaching. No. We are entering into other men's labours, right? The great men that came before us. Starting, you know, you could go right back through out the scriptures, all the old ancient prophets who done the great works. You know, you had Moses, Joshua, you know, Elijah, Elisha. You know, all these great men that came before us that were recorded in the scriptures, right up to the present day, starting with Elder Rabbi Abba Bivens, you know, King Marshall, Elder High Priest Yaquab, those great men that came before us. We are entering into their labours. So they started this thing, they got the foundations going, and we're coming in and we're supposed to continue in the same spirit to build up and help rebuild the house of David, the tabernacle of David. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be coming into this thing and be like, okay, well, I haven't really got much going for me. You know, I'm just a nobody, but oh, hang on, there's this thing going on, these Hebrew Israelites. Let me see. Maybe I can use that as a gimmick to try and make it in Hollywood. Because yeah, I'll come at it from like I'm an Israelite, and I'll use this as an avenue so that I can have some kind of platform to try and make it in the world, to be worldly.
Yeah.
You know, to be a celebrity in the world.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would anybody want to be a celebrity in the world? Do you know how wicked Hollywood is?
Right.
They call it Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
The kind of shit that goes on behind doors, a lot of stuff most people don't even know about. Right? A lot of stuff takes place behind these closed doors in order for these celebrities, these singers, these rappers, these movie stars, they do all kind of shit behind the scenes to get into the positions that they're in. Why would you want to enter into that filth? And of all things to do, a reality TV show, how much more worldly can you get? Them people that go on them shows, them people are reprobate as hell. They'll do anything because they just want a little bit of fame. They will do anything just because they want to make it in this world. Why would you want to make it in this world when this world is about to be destroyed? Do you not understand the times we're in? What does 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1 say? Let's get it. And we bring this out so much these days because this is very important to speak about for the times we're in. Right, 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1, it says, measure thou the time diligently. Yep, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So how do you measure the time diligently? Well, you need to understand the prophecies, right? Because if you understand the prophecies and the way things are playing out, that's how you're able to measure the time diligently. So if you know this world is about to be destroyed, and just look at all the things that have taken place in the past week. In the past week, we had videos getting censored by myself and other brothers. We put up videos from an RT clip which said unequivocally, if I could dare to use that word, unequivocally, that the Pentagon is approving the use of the MOTB, the implantable RFID microchip, in order to determine who has the thing, which we can't speak about or not. You know, this serpent's juice. And the guys were on RT talking about it, and they were saying, look, if someone had sent this to me a year ago, and they did, I would have thought it's a conspiracy theory, but now it's actually proven true because the Pentagon has approved it. Now our videos are getting clipped because we're talking about that, and we're bringing out the truth, and this all happened in this week, right? But what's my man talking about? As I said, the head of the Sakari, is he talking about this stuff? No, he's there trying to promote his fucking hip-hop album and his reality TV show. Fuck you, man. Who gives a shit about you? It ain't about you. This is about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and what's coming on the earth. We're supposed to be crying aloud and spurring lot, lifting up our voice like a trumpet and showing our people their transgressions. Because this isn't the time of games anymore. We're in a time of judgment, great judgment. And if you knew that, this is the thing. This shows that these men never really understood this truth. Because if you knew, let me read 2 Peter's, right? Let me read 2 Peter. This is 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, I believe. It's John. Yeah, 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you in both, which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which are spoken before by the holy prophets. See, because you've got the holy prophets and you've got false prophets, you know, and this character, High Priest Alazzai, that's his name, this guy is a false prophet, man, because he's not warning the people. He's not doing what the prophets were called to do. So it says, that you may be mindful of the words which are spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us the apostles, and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach and Saviour. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. Now how much more blatant can it get? Because this is the thing. I get angry by these guys who are misusing the truth, misusing this truth as a platform to try and magnify themselves. Yeah, I get fucking annoyed and pissed off by all this shit because it offends me, right? But at the end of the day, I have to take a step back because I realise, you know what? It's the Spirit of the Most High revealing these men. The Spirit of the Most High is causing these men to say things which are revealing their character, so those who may not be so built up in the truth can actually say, hang on a minute, I thought this guy was supposed to be a leader, supposed to be a holy prophet. Why is he talking about, oh, I've got a hip-hop album coming out? Why is he talking about, oh, I'm doing a reality TV show? Why is he not talking about the MOTB? Why is he not going into articles and breaking down prophecies and prophetic events through the scriptures? Why is he not doing that if he's supposed to be so-called leader, right? This is the thing, I get angry, but I understand that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is actually, this is the time of revealing. We're living in revelation, and what does revelation mean? To reveal, you know. So yeah, Esau's being revealed, but also the wicked of our people are also being revealed. Likewise, you've got characters out there like the head of the IUIC, Nate, General Yohana, the head of the ISUPK. They're telling their congregation to take the jab. You know, they're taking their congregation to take a jab, which is in clear violation of Leviticus, is it 19 verse 28? Let me get that quickly. So how is the head of your congregation going to claim to be in the truth when he's actually telling you to go against the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? And this further shows that a lot of the people in these congregations, they're just like churches, man. They don't actually read the scriptures. They're just there for to be a part of something. Oh, well, I'm in IUIC, I'm a part of this, or I'm in ISUPK, I'm a part of that, because they want to be down with the group. You know what I'm saying? They want to be down with the group, but they're not really seeking the Lord diligently. Now, don't get it wrong, you are going to get some people in those groups who are indeed sincere, and that's the whole point of what's happening right now, because those people in those groups that are sincere, now they're going to see that their leaders are being revealed, and that's going to cause them to look elsewhere for the truth. And it's all for the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And I'd say this, anybody who is in them groups and is sincere, you know, if they're of the elect, then may Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai have mercy upon those souls. But for those of you who aren't sincere and you're slothful servants, now what does it mean to be slothful? Slothful means like someone who's lackadaisical about doing things. Well, if you're not diligent in searching these scriptures for yourself, then you're slothful. If you're just relying on what your teachers have told you, then you're slothful. Just like myself. When I came up to GMS, came up to the camp of GMS, I came up to the camp of GMS already having studied the Bible. So when I was looking at these men, I was thinking, are they teaching in accordance with what the scriptures say. And that's my blessing in a way. The Most High blessed me with that, to be able to have an understanding of the scriptures, so I could clearly see who was teaching according to what the word says and who wasn't. So it wasn't hard for me to discern, okay, these characters in IUIC, they're just sitting there, and they're like sitting there in their positions and they're thinking they're cool, and they're trying to sell breakdowns when the scriptures say you're not supposed to make merchandise of this truth. So I was able to see quite clearly that the men of GMS, starting with the apostles, they were doing the things the way the Bible said, and they were breaking down the scriptures and getting into the prophecies as we're called to do. But these other camps, they weren't really pushing it like that. They were more like, oh, you know, we're selling t-shirts with fringes, or, you know, we're having our party Passovers and all this kind of worldly shit, man. And when you're spiritual, you can discern, hang on a minute, this ain't, Yahushai's Passover is not supposed to be a party event, it's supposed to be a solemn assembly. You know what I mean? And if you eat that Passover lamb unworthily, then you're eating damnation unto yourself, because that makes you guilty of the death of Yahushai. If you're eating that Passover unworthily, so it's not a joke, man. It's not a party thing. And when I've only been to one Passover with the brothers, you know, in the world I tried to keep as best I could, but when I was in that Passover, it's a very heavy spirit that is around in that time, man, because that's the time when Yahushua was about to be betrayed by Judas Iscariot. And in that Passover, the disciples were sitting there and they were wondering, shit, am I going to be the one that's going to betray the Lord? They didn't know, so there was a very sort of fearful spirit, and there was also a fearful spirit from Yahushua in the sense that he knew he was going to be betrayed and put upon the cross. So Yahushua was in a very, how do you say, afflicted spirit, which is why when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was feeling that pressure, because the word Gethsemane means oil press, and Yahushua is the oil, and he was being pressed in the spirit to the point where he was actually sweating teardrops of blood. Come on, man, the Christians don't get into this stuff. They talk about, oh yeah, I love Jesus and Jesus saved and all this kind of stuff, but do you know the amount of we can't even comprehend the amount of pressure that Yahushua is under. And that's why we're supposed to be in a solemn spirit around that time. Now, what did these guys do around the last Passover, these flipping Sakari guys? They were having Passovers in strip clubs. How the hell can you be doing that, man? That's just absolute madness. And then when you got rebuked for it, you're there trying to defend yourself, like, oh, well, you know, what did he say? I wasn't there all the time, I had to take my wives. So what the hell are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? That's just a fucking madness, man. But the thing is, these guys, and this is what you have to understand, there's men who may come into a camp, but they're not in the truth. I'll say that again. You may have men that come into a camp, form a camp, or they're out there teaching, they're holding a Bible, they've got a garment on, but they're not in the truth. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is a very fine line. You can't be thinking, oh, well, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to walk over here, I'm going to walk over here. No, it's a straight path. Because Yahushua said, enter ye in at the straight gate. And the straight gate means a position of difficulty. In 2 Ezra, the 7th chapter, I believe, it talks about the narrow path where only one man can go at a time, and there's a water on one side and a deep fire on the other side. Like, you know, so if you can imagine, there's water here and there's like volcanic magma there. So if you drop in the deep water, you're going to drown. If you drop in the fire, you're going to burn. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually like it's like a parable of the two destructions, because we know that in the ancient days, the Most High destroyed the world during the time of Noah through the flood, right? In these times, as I'm going to get into, the Most High is going to destroy the world with fire. And both water and fire are cleansing agents. And this earth needs to be, how do you say, cleansed from all the wickedness that's taking place, because the scriptures do say the earth is defiled unto the inhabitants thereof. You know, so the earth currently is defiled under all the wickedness that is taking place, and in order to cleanse the earth and refresh the earth, the Most High has to cleanse it. Look, he did it before with water, but in this time he's going to do it with fire. So let me get back to 2 Peter and we'll get into that. So it says, back in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, starting from, where was I at? 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and the 3rd verse. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days And again, as I said in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, measure thou the time diligently. So 2 Peter is saying, in the last days, which is the time we're in, there shall come scoffers walking after their own lusts. So that guy at the head of Sakari Al-Azhar, he's ultimately just a scoffer because he's walking after his own lusts. And it says, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Yeah, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they are willingly ignorant of that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that was then, being overflowed with water, perished. That's what happened in the flood of Noah, right? And it says, but the heavens and the earth which are now, by the same word kept in store, and reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. Therefore the Lord Yahushua is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Here's the point. But the day of the Lord Yahushua will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens and the earth shall pass away with a great noise. Shalom. Heavens and earth shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. Right? Here's the point. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, right? So the Apostle Peter was saying, look man, seeing that all these things are about to be dissolved, and that the elements are going to melt with fervent heat, what manner of persons ought ye to be knowing these things? So there you have Al-Azhar talking about shit. Oh, I'm doing a hip hop album 223, yeah, you can pick it up and yeah, I've got to plug that. And what's he saying? Yeah, we're going to be doing a reality TV show. I mean, come on, man. Did you not read 2 Peter what I just read? The elements are going to melt with fervent heat. What manner of persons ought you to be? See, this shows that these guys aren't really in the spirit because they're trying to build in Babylon. They're trying to make a name for themselves here. And that's just folly, man. If you know this truth, you know that everything's going to be destroyed. And that shows that these guys don't really believe. Just as I said in 2 Peter, it said, for this they are willingly ignorant that the day of the Lord is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is a day. So therefore, in their minds, they're thinking, well, the Lord's delaying his coming. So they don't really believe that in the prophecies that we're bringing out, for example, the MOTB, the wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, uproars of the people. These guys don't really believe. That's why they're not really pushing the prophecies. And let me get this one. This is Revelation 19:10. I believe it's Revelation 19:10, I want. Right, Revelation 19 verse 10 says, yeah, this is it. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren. Right, check that out. He says, I am of thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, which have the testimony of Yahushua. See, that's how you can really see if someone's really in the right spirit or not. If they have the testimony of Yahushua and they're preaching in the right way. Not preaching for vain glory, to make it in the world, to be seen of men, not doing it maliciously, not doing it to cause contention, but doing it in the spirit of truth and sincerity, right? And it says, for I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua, worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Let me read that again. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So if you're really in the spirit of Yahushua, your main focus is going to be pushing the prophecies, warning the people, right? Not trying to use this truth as a springboard to magnify yourself. That's just foolishness, man. And that means that you're not a true servant. You're just a hireling, man. Because you're only in this for yourself. You're not in it to edify the flock or try and help the flock or warn the flock of what's to come. And see, this is why the brothers who are in the right spirit, we go into news articles, we're watching our enemy, because the scriptures say, I have set watchmen upon the walls, and we're supposed to warn the people. That's why we get into going into articles to see, okay, what's Esau's next move? Because if you're not watching, what does it say? Your adversary, Satan, goeth about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, right? So if you're not watching for the lion, what are you doing? The lion's going to run up on you, and it's going to what did the Lord say? He said, the Lord actually said, smite the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. So if you're a good shepherd, you're watching for that. You're taking care of your flock to make sure that the wolf or the lion or the bear don't run up in there and devour your flock, man, because you have a care for the flock. But a hireling, he doesn't care for the flock, he only cares for himself. And that's what's being revealed in these times, because you've got all these characters now. Like I said, you've got Nate from the IUIC telling his congregation, I'll take the chip, and he can't even break down Revelation 13 properly. You know, he's hopping and like he's playing hopscotch with the scriptures, man. That's what Vocab Malone said. Oh, you're playing Hebrew hopscotch. Yeah, well, the way we do it is reading precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's what you're supposed to do. But Nate, he's flipping leapfrogging parts of Revelation, the 13th chapter, because he knows he's wrong, and he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong, and the apostles to Har and the apostles of GMS were right all along about the mark. Because Nate was up there talking shit. Ain't no microchip. Ain't no microchip. It's June. You know, people make them compilation videos. The man was talking shit. Now, as I said on RT this week, they came out saying that the Pentagon's developing this thing, the MOTB, which has further confirmed that the apostles had it right all along, but they don't want to admit it because they're too proud now.
That's
but
right.
yeah, and the sincere members in their congregation are waking up to who these people are. Just like General Yohana when he was saying, oh, we know Esau's the devil, but you should take the thing anyway. I mean, come on, man. How much more blatant can you get that this man is not right in terms of being a prophet? He ain't right, man. And a lot of these people ain't right, and it's being revealed.
Because there was some old news. No, just to harp on what you're saying, because there was some old news that was declared around, I think it was around April the 21st, I believe it is around this year. I think it was the 13th or the 21st. But anyway, they brought the news back in again and saying that, you know, through the Pentagon, as the brother, you know, put out there, that they're going to be the ones responsible to, you know, bring out the chip, the MOTB, have you will. So, but I remember I put that news, the old news that I'm talking about, on one of my videos, because I was talking about it and they took it down. And the reason why they take videos down, and the reason why we have to be very careful, the reason why they take these videos down concerning the MOTB, because that's really what's next in line. The next thing in line is MOTB.
Yep.
And on BBC, what they were telling you was what they were showing you, they was giving you this picture. This it wasn't necessarily a picture, but it was like more of like a race, and it was morally showing that, see, this is what this particular thing could do. This spiker, so to speak, I call it the spiker, because what's that, brother?
The spiker team. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the spiker. In other words,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like I'm having to keep up with all the acronyms.
The different words.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why I call it a spiker, because I was watching this video on BitChute, and this Benjamin, he was in Brixton.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he was giving it loads. He was like, he went on the bus telling people what the deal was, and what he said was, he said the first jab that you get is actually got the spiker in it. And what he was breaking down is, brother's laughing. But what he was basically saying is the spike. What it does is it breaks down your cells, basically. So anybody that has that particular spiker or the spiker, what happens is their body breaks down gradually, and then it also has the particles in it. You have the technological particles in it, which changes your DNA to something else. You know, and with that being said, like I was saying, going back to what I was talking about concerning what they were showing you on BBC, and they had this so-called X-ray, and showing to you that, see, this particular thing, it tracks the virus in your body, and the guy was showing you that if you get the injection, then that little chip would actually be a part of that injection. I'll have to show you brothers, so you brothers know what I'm talking about. But anyway, basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna put an MOTB inside of you. That's gonna be the last result. Because right now they're pushing this whole, you know, situation, this whole COVID thing and everything like that, and that's just to really coerce people to taking it.
Yep.
You know, and what also the Benjamin brother was breaking down is the fact that you know, it doesn't benefit you in many ways how he explained it. And he also said that it's been the actual thing that they're pushing people to get has been banned from 23 countries.
Yeah.
That's right.
They haven't declared that on the news.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they have to push it, because what other reason is you know, what other reason could they justify in getting you MOTB? And this is the right thing to justify doing it.
Yeah, it's the
Gotta
pathway.
come up with something.
It's the
Yeah.
pathway to it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting hurt now, like by trying to censor this truth, because
Yeah.
they don't want people to wake up to the fact that this is where it's going.
Yeah.
But don't think that people are stupid, because like when I see these videos on the YouTube and stuff, just look at the comments section. Read the comments of the people who are actually watching the videos.
Okay.
Like for example,
Yeah.
they're talking about in France they're pushing this green passport, is it vaccine?
Yeah.
Vaccine pass, right? And the guy in RTU is trying to say, oh, but it's only a very small but vocal minority that oppose this.
Yeah.
But if you go on places like BitChute or whatever else,
Yeah.
you'll see those people, they're kicking up hell in them countries.
Oh, hell
but yet
yeah.
the mainstream media is trying to downplay that.
Yeah,
They're trying to downplay that. And what they're also trying to do is turn the people who have taken the thing against
Yeah.
those who haven't taken the thing.
Yeah.
And this is why I believe that more lockdowns are coming, because the government knows this. And in order to destabilize the people even more, they're trying to set those who have taken it against those who haven't.
Right.
So by them bringing in another lockdown, all those people who have taken it,
Yeah.
and they're not getting any side effects yet, right? They're going to be like, oh, fuck this, man. Why do we have to suffer because these people
Yeah.
are holding us back?
Yeah.
That's going to create an internal
Division.
division and a hotbed for civil unrest. And that's what Esau really wants, because when also these people, they want the people to rebel against the government, and when people do that, that allows Esau to come down even harder
Yeah.
and implement troops, you know, the
Yeah,
martial law and stuff.
Martial law,
And
yeah.
I heard this week they were calling back, was it American soldiers?
Yeah, from Afghanistan.
Yeah, to the US, which shows that they're preparing for something,
Yeah.
because they're not going to pull their troops back for no reason. So yeah, man, Esau's moves, we can see them because we have the spirit of prophecy, like I read in Revelation 19:10. So therefore, this is what our conversation's going to be about. Just as I read in 2 Peter's, you know, knowing that all these things are shortly to come, you know, that the elements are going to melt with fervent heat. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holiness and godly conversation? So
Yeah.
therefore, I'm not going to come out here and say, hey, look, yeah, I'm going to drop my new hip-hop album. It's going to be out next week. You need to check it out. It's going to be powerful. Yeah, come check that out. Or I'm going to be doing this reality TV show. Yeah, watch out for that. It's going to be powerful. All thanks to Yahweh Hashem. I was like, what the fuck, man?
And if you can, brother, get me Matthew 24.
Can't.
Because we already knew that that's how they was going to play it. If that's how they're going to do it, which I beg to believe that's how they're going to do it finally, because prophecy has it to where the elect, they're going to find themselves hated among all of the nations that they're surrounded in. So what's going to make these other peoples to hate the elect, or to hate those that haven't received the MOTB? Because that's really the whole thing that they ultimately want to have being pushed on the people, or have people to take, is the MOTB through the spiker, have you will, right? So as you've said, if you can, brother, read
Yep.
Matthew 24,
From the top.
verse 9.
Khan. Matthew 24 from verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted,
Yeah.
and shall kill you, and ye shall